James, Durbin, and Casey Abrams were the audience, and Ryan pointed them out. And James, I guess, has out a new album. I gotta go check it out, see what's going on with it. You know, would you like to see a review? Let me know down in the comments if you do. Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertantonnyc.com, coming to you with your no frills American Idol commentary from a singer. Alright fam, we are at the top 12 now live shows, and are they bringing it or not? Let me see what happened. Ryan announced that Phillip Phillips will be performing on the results show tomorrow night. The theme tonight is home, and they had to sing the one song that best defines home for them. Jena Irene was up first. She did Suddenly I See by KT Tunstall, and I can never say enough about her tone and pronunciation because it's so unique and natural and pleasing to my ear. It seemed like she was going on and off the mic during her first segment, but locked in by the chorus and was just doing a great job. Keith said he likes her stage presence and it's really coming to life. J-Lo said the uniqueness of the tone of her voice makes every song she sings her own. Harry said he enjoyed how she messed with the melody. Then Alex Preston was up. He did I Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw, and this guy is so cool. You know, he started with a nice little electric guitar riff and just laid into the groove of the song. Seemed like everybody was singing along with him, and he doesn't come off as the most personable guy, you know, in his interviews and stuff like that. And even on stage sometimes he's just kind of like vibing on the song, and I wrote kind of an introverted artistic type. J-Lo said the arrangement didn't quite suit the song and it overtook his vocal. Harry said he's special at singing an intimate song soft, but he admired that he tried to do something different this time. Jessica Meuse was up next. She did White Flag by Dido. And what about that hair? Did you guys like it? It was all done up and everything with curls and all that. Let me know down in the comments if you liked it. Her voice really rang out on this song, and she was totally comfortable and engaging on this performance. She says she does this song all the time, and it shows to me. I liked when she stopped playing and just sang at the end. She just forgot about the guitar. She was playing it first and just sang the song at the end. She had a nice little flutter in her voice. I found it very enjoyable. Harry said it was a little bit blasé and she was sharp the whole time. Keith said he loves her musicality, but basically said she wasn't that into it. J-Lo said she's not coming off as comfortable on stage. And Keith and Harry were debating this performance during the commercial, like back and forth, and they were talking about it, you know, on once we got back on screen. Ryan asked them some questions about it and they kept going back and forth. Oh Lord, don't debate though, don't debate. Make sure that you thumb up this commentary. There's no debate to it. Just thumb it up. Let me know that you are enjoying it and that you appreciate it. Thank you very much. Next up we had Dexter Roberts. He did Lucky Man by Montgomery Gentry, and he took a stool and played guitar and brought on the full country treatment here. It was good to see him just chilling, emoting, and holding out some of the long notes. A nice slow song. It's a rangy song that he didn't quite hit at the bottom, but that was only for like 2 or 3 notes. Once he hit them higher notes, he nailed the rest of the song all along with the emotion. Keith said it was the perfect song. J-Lo said it was very, very good and talked about Scotty McCreery. Harry said it was the best performance of the night. So far, we only had 4 people so far, right? Next up, we had Emily Piriz. She did Let's Get Loud by Jennifer Lopez. Alright, she gonna do some Jennifer up in here. Of course, J-Lo was mouthing every word along with her. The vocals were okay, and she was trying to work the stage, but a lot of it just seemed a little forced to me, like she wasn't really letting go. She didn't do the big note, you know, let's get loud, let's get loud, let's get loud. She didn't go up there, and I was like, okay, that was anticlimactic for me, because if you do it, you got to do it. If you're going to do the first 2, you got to do the third one. But she did something off of it and ended the song. Do the high note and end it. I know you got it. You got it in your voice. I know you got it. We were waiting on it, and you didn't give it to us. So I said it was just okay for me. J-Lo said she did a really good job. Harry said she has to match the intensity and said the song and production were too big for her tonight. Keith mentioned her confidence. And one thing that Harry said that was good, they said people were into the song as soon as she started. If she wouldn't have been there, they probably would have been partying anyway, and she didn't really bring anything to it. She didn't really drive the song. It drove her, and I totally agree. She just wasn't letting loose and actually enjoying it, you know. But the next performance was Caleb Johnson doing Working Man by Rush. And of all the contestants, Caleb is the one that brings it every single time. He hits the stage, he is just on. Bam, there. He's got power, personality, and presence. Power, personality, and presence. See what I did there? And his vocals are good too. I liked how he worked the audience and gave me the big notes and then fell on the stage at the end. J-Lo and Keith stood for him, and he just has so much fun on stage. And I was writing on Twitter that he brings the enjoyment of performing with him every single time. And that is what I want to see in a artist, in a performer. The enjoyment of what you're doing, the enjoyment of presenting those lyrics, the enjoyment of getting into that melody, the enjoyment of being there and relating the story with us, sharing something special, a piece of yourself and a piece of your story with us. That is what I really like about Caleb, and that's something that I think all of the contestants could definitely do more of. Harry said he's the most consistent on the show and gave him some things to think about. Keith said he's one of the best singers he heard in a long time. Next we got to see something new, the real-time results from some people voting via SuperVote. I was also one of those people. Did you see yourself? I didn't see myself either. And Dexter was in first place and Emily was in last of the first 6 people. Next up we had MK Nobilette. She did Drops of Jupiter by Train, and it was just her and her guitar to start out, and the band came in slowly. There were some inconsistencies in her production. It sounded like maybe she forgot some things, or maybe it's just her confidence at places where she just backs off the notes or something. But overall, I mean, it's pretty decent. She has a very good voice, just still lacks that confidence and that that's something, again, that could be, again, that joy. Keith said her vocals are fine, but she needs to work on connecting her vocals to her facial expressions. J-Lo said she felt her pushing in a good way. Harry said he gets the feeling that she doesn't want to be here and told her to work on the things that are hard. CJ Harris was up next. He did Waiting on the World to Change by John Mayer. And this was a feel-good song with a message, and it sounded good in his voice. I just don't know if it's a competition song. You know, and he seems to have a problem choosing great songs that fit his voice and make him stand out among the other contestants. Remember, he's a wild card choice. You got to get in there and you have got to connect and touch people. I don't know if he did that with this. J-Lo said she loved the performance. Harry said he sang consistently sharp but actually felt something and it was alright. Keith said all that's missing is him finding a way to make a song more his own, basically in my ears anyway, saying he has no originality. Sam Woolf was up next. He did Just One by Blind Pilot, and he sat in the middle of some girls and played the guitar, and they were all up in his face and he pretty much ignored them. Okay, so that's a problem, people. I'm about to go on a rant. Okay, there was a chance right here, and the producers probably set this up for him. There was a chance for him to connect with the audience on a very personal level and relate the story to these women around him along with the camera. So he should have been telling these women what he was talking about, singing to them, singing out to everybody else, talking to the camera, then going back to them. He would have, any singer who could tell you that once they connect with somebody and they're actually talking to them, it becomes so much more natural. It becomes so much more relatable. It becomes so much more emotional. It's a connection, and he does not make that connection, right? Okay, his voice is fine, nice, pretty even, but he just has a long way to go as a performer. Harry said there's one beat emotionally when he sings. Keith said the tone of his voice is like butter. J-Lo said he has to push outside of his comfort zone. Malaya Watson was up next. She did Take Me to the King by Tamela. Mann, go ahead, old girl. She jumped back on the piano and sounded wonderful in the beginning. This was a very sedate and emotional song from her to start out. The big notes were on point when she finally stood up and got into it and really touched me with this. Great song choice, and Keith stood for her. Keith called her power and range crazy. J-Lo said it was like she was telling us a story and she got goosies and had tears in her eyes. Harry said it felt focused and she didn't go off the rails. I guess that's a pretty good compliment for Harry, right? Ben Briley was up next. He did Turning Home by David Nail. And I liked the first half of this a lot better than the second half. He was so nice and in place in the first half and kind of sedate and had a very nice tone. But in the higher parts, it sounded to me like he was strangling, like he was... And I was like, what's going on here? I just didn't feel it. It just sounded like he was choking off his notes or something to me. J-Lo said the feeling was there. Harry said he didn't connect with it and it felt shouted to him. Keith said he lost the story and emotion due to his focus on technicality. And to round out the night, we had Majesty Rose doing Fix You by Coldplay. And she had big hair and an angelic voice on this. At points I felt like the backgrounds got a little big and overpowering, but she was in the moment, feeling the song throughout. She gave us a long big note that I really enjoyed, and she needed it because the backgrounds was loud as could be. So, you know, but she was sailing over the top of them. Harry said he wished she stayed in the quiet zone. Keith said he knows we're going to see her next week. What did you think of the performances tonight? Who was your favorite? What would you have changed as far as song choices and stuff like that? Talking about home, what would your home song have been? For me, I would have been so kitsch, right? I would have been like, when I think of home, I think of a place where there's... Okay, then we got another look at the SuperVote results. And did you see yourself in the pictures? I ain't see myself either. CJ was first and Majesty was last, okay? But of course, she had just performed and I hadn't even voted for her yet. So, I mean, you know, I gave her about 50 votes. She would have moved up just out of that. Anyway, this is Robert Anton, robertantonnyc.com. I am out. Peace. Tomorrow night for the results. See you there.